Hello, everyone. Today's article is titled U.S. Beef Prices Soar. It explains why beef prices in the United States have risen more than 60% since 2020, reaching record highs. Although the U.S. is the world's largest beef producer, its cattle herd has shrunk to the smallest size since the 1950s, creating significant supply pressure. Let's pause for a moment before we move into the article. We'll watch a short clip related to today's topic. As you watch, think about what ideas or questions it brings to mind. Now that we've seen the clip, let's take a step back. Before we dig into the details, it helps to explore a broader idea behind the story. This will guide how we understand what follows. This brings us to the idea of food price sensitivity. Food is not just a commodity. It's a daily necessity tied to culture, routine, and emotional comfort. So even small price increases feel personal, and large price spikes can reshape habits, diets, and even national policy debates. Let's hold this idea as we move into a question. When the price of a staple food rises sharply, what changes first? People's habits, emotions, or expectations? When the price of a staple food rises sharply, the first change is often emotional. People feel shock, frustration, or even unfairness because food is tied to routine and comfort. When beef suddenly becomes a luxury, it disrupts not only meal planning but also the sense of stability that comes from predictable prices. Habits shift next. Families may switch to cheaper proteins, cook differently, or reduce portion sizes. Restaurants also adapt, changing menus, raising prices, or offering smaller servings. These adjustments show how quickly rising costs ripple through daily life. Expectations adjust more slowly. Consumers may hope prices will drop, but prolonged shortages, like the U.S. cattle decline, force them to accept a new normal. Psychological adaptation often takes longer than behavioral change. The article's example illustrates this well. Drought, feed costs, and ranchers leaving the industry have pushed beef into a punishing price cycle. When basic goods feel unstable, people become more cautious, reconsider past habits, and reassess what they consider affordable. Now, to understand this article better, we need to familiarize ourselves with key vocabulary. We'll go over 3 important expressions, learn their meanings, and see them in action with example sentences. Let's start with punishing. It describes something extremely difficult, harsh, or exhausting, often because it pushes people or systems beyond their limits. In the article, U.S. beef prices come with a punishing cost for consumers, making everyday meals more expensive. Here is an example. The marathon's punishing heat made the race especially challenging. Next, we have drought. It refers to a long period with little or no rainfall, causing water shortages and agricultural stress. In the article, severe drought is one of the main reasons the U.S. cattle herd has shrunk. Here is an example. Farmers struggled to keep crops alive during the long drought. Finally, let's look at carnivorous. This adjective refers to animals or diets that primarily eat meat. It can also describe habits or systems that depend heavily on meat-based consumption. In the article, the U.S. market is described as highly carnivorous, meaning beef plays a central role in many people's diets, which makes price increases especially painful. Here's an example. Although he wasn't fully carnivorous, he preferred meals that included meat at least once a day. Now that we've explored the main themes and vocabulary, let's reinforce our understanding with a summary dictation exercise. Listen carefully and fill in the blanks. Beef prices in the U.S. have surged more than 60% since 2020, reaching record highs despite the country being the world's largest beef producer, as well as the world's largest consumer of it. The main problem is a reduced cattle herd, the smallest since the 1950s, caused by drought, high feed costs, and ranchers leaving the industry. Imports offer little relief due to tariffs and restrictions. With supply tight, even small disruptions trigger big price swings, forcing consumers to adjust their habits. Let's check the answers and review what each word means. The first answer is surged. It means rising very quickly or sharply. The second answer is herd. It refers to a group of cattle or livestock raised together. The third answer is ranchers. It means people who raise cattle or livestock, typically on large farms. The fourth answer is disruptions. It refers to unexpected interruptions that disturb normal operations. The fifth answer is adjust. It means to change behavior or habits to fit new conditions. Great job today. We explored why U.S. beef prices have surged and how food costs shape habits and expectations. As you read the full article, here's a question to reflect on. Have you ever changed your diet because of rising food costs? What did you switch to? We'll share thoughts during our next session. Until then, stay curious and take care.